dear test takers, I'm back again and I have another video, especially practice based. And this is words in context question asked by my student. And if you're someone who's watching this video for the very first time, you need to pause the video and read the question, only the passage. Read the passage part first. All right. So read the passage carefully. Yes, that's very important. Never ever read the answer choices before reading the passage. That's a disclaimer. And summarize the passage in your own words and also underline the keywords. Okay, underline the keywords because these words, because we have so many words that are hinting us uh, three types of connotations. All right, what is it? One, you feel that words that you read within the passage have positive charge, and you feel you can sense negative charge, that is negative feeling or negative connotation. And sometimes some verbs have neutral charge, like they, based on good or bad, they just adapt to the given choice, a given sentence context. All right, so underlining the keywords, and then you have to, because these words are very important, they are your clues. Okay, and then once you summarize in your own the passage in your own words, now you need to predict a word that can go into the blank. Yes, this prediction of a word is totally based on your understanding of the passage, summary, and those positive, negative, right? And then now finally match that word with the given options. All right. So now with this rules, let's quickly go to our question. All right. Read the passage, summarize the passage in your own words, underline the keywords, positive, negative, and neutral charges. You can actually analyze them and predict a word that can go into the blank. And with that word, you can actually recheck try to match those words with the given option. All right. Now let's do this. Put all these things into action. Recent evidence suggests that, okay, this passage is science-based. So if you're a non-science student, okay, don't worry. There are so many big words over here. Don't get scared because we're only looking for the word. Even though there are some scientific names and terms, though you're a non-science grad, non-science student, there are most of the words are all are English vocab testing words, right? So here, recent evidence suggests that the stomach enzyme H12 functions primarily in humans to blank proteins. To blank proteins, so some action is happening. So to the protein, something the so-called enzyme is doing, okay, before they reach the intestines. So again, always look for these referencing pronoun references. Very important. They here means the proteins they're talking about, this one, okay. To preserve, this is a positive word, a very positive word. To preserve these nutrients. Acha, by the way, what are these nutrients? Again, the proteins, right? This is its antecedent. So that who are they? Again, the proteins are digested more slowly, Food chemists add small quantities of peptides. Okay. Till here, I got to know that there are some evidences that are suggesting there's something called stomach enzyme called H12, which primarily in human beings, they do something to the proteins. We are not aware. Now, that's something you have to find from these options. First, you have to predict what is that something, that word, before they reach the intestines. And to preserve, that means to safeguard or to prevent or to protect or something they're doing. It's a positive word, by the way. So food chemists are what they do. They add small peptides, small quantities of peptides. Which bond? Which bond? These peptides bond with the H12's amino receptor. So H12 is the enzyme and it has got some amino receptors. Amino is the protein part. So these so-called peptides will go and bond with that. So this blocking, what is it? What's the after effect of blocking? After effect of bonding is blocking. Now, blocking is a negative word. So we have one positive word, one negative word within the passage. Am I correct? Blocking the enzyme from connecting with the protein chains. Oh, I get it. So let's quickly draw some, summary out of it. So what could be the summary? Yes. Fast, think faster. The summary is like, basically, this peptides, the enzyme is doing something to the protein, right? So to save it, Peptides are added. Now, what do the peptides are doing? The peptides actually block the enzyme, right? They bond and block. Correct? What? The enzyme. Therefore, and the protein is saved. This is my, it's my summary. Okay, you can write in just single one or two words like this. So this is my summary. Enzyme is doing something to the protein. So to save this, peptides are added. So the so-called enzyme and the peptides bond and the so-called enzyme get blocked. So there's a positive. To preserve is a positive word. Okay. Now let's look at based on this. So you have to fill in some word that is, we are looking at to preserve these nutrients. That means to save them from the so-called enzyme. That means to, they are doing something to the protein, isn't it? Don't you think that it is unpreserving, like it is trying to do something serving, right? The so-called enzyme is unpreserving these proteins because of them, something they're doing with the proteins, right? So now let's look at, based on my prediction of the word, we will look into our options. Dismantle definitely is a negative word. Insulate a very positive word. Insulate means it covers up. Safeguard is to protect, again a positive word. And to identify is a verb. Well, it's neutral, right? So we have two positives. And you know what? To insulate and safeguard both are to preserve, right? You're working with the to preserve word. So you can't have the same word here. So here we have to preserve. What's the opposite to preserve? Unpreserved. So we got this word here. And then the only thing we can't have a neutral word because we have one positive, one negative. It can't be a neutral sentence or neutral passage, right? Neutral contextual passage. So identify is ruled out. And we have insulate and safeguard, both meaning to preserve. So you can't have. Now we need a opposite word to preserve, which is unpreserved. Now that means something is happening to the protein, right? The enzyme is literally breaking the protein and making it enabled, right? It's that's the function of that so-called enzyme. So dismantle, that means it's disintegrating, completely dissolving or something of that sort. So to save the protein from getting dismantled or unpreserved, these peptides are added. Therefore, the H12 amino receptors are bonded with these peptides and blocking happens. Therefore, the proteins are saved. Am I clear? Well, I hope you're all very clear now. So with this understanding, let's get to a conclusion that read the passage carefully, underline the keywords, look for positive, negative, and neutral connotations from the words that you have underlined, and predict a word that fits into that blank. From that prediction, now go to the options, check which, look for the connotations again and try to analyze, try to match it with your word that you have predicted. And there you go. That's how you get your answer. I hope I'm very clear. Well, if I'm clear, let's meet in the next session. Bye for now.